Welcome once again to Questbound Realms. I am your humble dungeon master, Andrew Stark. Real quick, a word for the listeners. I would like to apologize for an audio mix-up for last episode. The last 10 or 15 minutes of my microphone got corrupted. So if the quality is horrible, that's why. Moving on, last time we joined our adventurers as they began their trek towards a mysterious keep on the edge of Rudira, in the region known colloquially as Old Estemere. Given this task by members of an organization known as the Accord, their goal was to search and investigate the keep for signs of arcane artifacts or other magical objects, as well as to ascertain the reason for movement in that otherwise abandoned portion of the continent. While on the road, they also acquainted themselves with a wandering bard named Emrys. As Bramble, Peaches, King, and Fable entered this small keep, seemingly a diplomatic outpost of times past, they discovered that the entire guard, recently posted with fresh supplies and men, had been killed by unnatural means, save for one, an elderly knight of the mantled bulwark named Jespin. Deep in the bowels of the keep, past the bodies and eerie dark that had surrounded the courtyard, was a chamber filled with chains and enchantments. And in the center knelt an oddly familiar entity for one of our heroes, who then vanished with an ominous message warning the party. We return to our story as Bramble, Peaches, and Emrys exit the keep's basement after King and Fable. What would you all like to do?
I am unconscious. I think you were stitching me back together. Yeah, I began sewing King back together.
Okay.
And trying to put stuff into its little body.
As Peaches, Bramble, and Emrys are exiting the basement of the keep, following the slowly hobbling Sir Kiersel, they see the scene of Fable trying to stitch together King nearby the fire that Emrys had set up, but not quite close enough to actually feel its warmth. A slight snow begins to fall as well. You're outside the courtyard at this point, and it feels darker than it should be. It feels like nightfall is coming, but realistically, it's only 3 or 4 in the afternoon.
So, what the hell was that? Yeah, what?
Jespin Kiersel speaks up. That was one of the captives that we were trying to hold. Clearly, we were unsuccessful.
How did you come across that thing?
I don't honestly know. They've been held there since before the council was even installed as the ruling body. Probably been there since before the turn of the new era, for all I know. I wasn't given the details, just told to protect it. Supposedly a new threat was arising. Jespin sort of just wanders up to the fire and squats down. He is still very mentally and physically out of it due to his near-death experience, but it's clear he has had several of these, because he doesn't seem to actually phased. Emrys is silent throughout this whole thing.
So, is the scarecrow thing okay?
Well, you tell me. What can I discern from the scarecrow feeler?
Make a medicine or...
I feel like it's survival more.
Yeah.
Or Arcana.
Or Arcana. I'm not the dungeon
You're not
master,
the Arcana.
so
I guess
just
to sew him back up, do survival.
Oh.
If you're not trying to actually ascertain.
I can do cure wounds if that's what you need. It's probably more of a mental wound. Mental wounds? Okay, I'll just hold him.
He isn't actually...
Can you cast therapy? I cast therapy.
I've got
Mage restoration.
It seems he's the little fella's unconscious, but he's fine. He's alive. I'm gonna say, little man though, he's.
I'm gonna call it a he, but in the way you call a little rat he,
Yeah.
or like a teddy bear he. It's like it doesn't compare me to a rat, like a teddy bear. It's like you're not gendered as a teddy bear. Like there's nothing on there. It's just. But he's like a little guy.
we have to keep going.
This little guy, he's alive. It just seems whatever was traumatic to his experience and to his upbringing. So,
is there any way we can bring it back?
He's gotta wait till it wakes up.
Okay.
But
I'll look over to the bard.
So, how familiar are you with the stuff then? Seems as if you're awful reverent for these forces to explain.
I'm familiar with them, yes. How much do you want me to explain? All of it? The look you're giving me is all of it. Yeah. I'll tell you what I know about that one, though that one in particular is a bit dodgy. Apparently, his name is Alistair Rolfe. Some believe he's an archfey, some believe he's an archvampire, some believe he's both. He's been around since the very end of the Unraveling Wars, from what I've read, and I have no knowledge on his sealing in any way. I don't know why or how he was caged, and I don't know how he escaped so easily. Though, from my not-so-expert opinion, some of those chains that were connected to him looked disenchanted. Probably wouldn't have been able to escape so easily if all of the enchantments were still intact. Whatever freed the other two entities down there tried to free him and failed. So, that's my 2 cents anyway.
Yikes. And then we freed him. Oh, that's so sweet.
I'll go ahead and assume you wasn't doing that on purpose. You was under a spell.
Yeah. No.
I just met you. Narrative.
I met you just.
I do not have any loyalty to that thing.
I believe that.
You all set him free. I take it.
I did it. I've passed my wisdoms.
We were told not to touch the chains because the enchantments were very particular. He wasn't meant to be held forever. That's the only information I was given.
It's not conscious. Oh,
Huh?
he said we.
Ask who we is. Who's we?
Oh, who's we? Oh, I see now. Oh, because I thought that was related to your unconscious, like in the sense that it would solve your unconsciousness.
No, I can't ask it because I am unconscious.
You don't even worry. I guess I don't have to answer in character. It's pretty. He's saying we as in all the guard that were posted there.
All the dead ones?
Yeah.
Wait,
all
who's talking right now?
This is the guy we found. I think this one. No, this is the guy that was in the basement that was almost dead.
Yeah.
Emrys,
No, I thought
Emrys is Scottish or Irish.
You're right.
One of the two. I still haven't gotten it down.
I thought the bard was talking.
That's why I was.
I tried to differentiate. Jespin was talking after Emrys was talking. Okay, that clears it up.
Yeah. I got that because I succeeded.
I'm on
my wisdom saves.
You all do feel exhausted. Your minds, Bramble and Peaches, were just overtaken by something. For both of you, that's probably the first. So, you all are reeling a little bit from the experience.
Tell me about it.
Alright, well, maybe we should focus on waking that thing up and then figuring out what the hell happened with that thing.
Oh, it's kind of annoying.
It is kind of a nice break. Bramble is going to sit down next to King Thing, and I'm going to whip out my lute and start playing a healing tune, but it's also it's not actually mechanically doing anything. He's helping. He's helping, man. He's an empath.
How long does King sleep?
I would reckon King probably is gonna stay out until they're taking a long rest.
Okay.
So are we going to just set up camp and stay here then?
One of you could carry him if you want to travel.
I'm not very heavy.
Yeah.
I'm 50 pounds.
I'm not carrying him any further, so.
Jespin is
Yeah, you walked on the roads, buddy. Yeah.
already asleep, practically. Jespin is already asleep.
Oh, yeah. That makes sense.
Me too.
He was very exhausted. And who has the highest passive perception?
Probably me.
What is your...
Oh, mine's 16. Never mind. You're a druid. So don't you have the alert feat?
I
have the
yours
alert
is 15.
That's with it.
Yeah, mine's 15. You're higher than me. I was 15. So
16 is me, but also alert feat. So take that how you will.
As you're all discussing amongst yourselves whether or not you want to move or rest for the night and wait for King to wake up, You all talk for a minute and look around, and Emrys is gone.
Well, guess we didn't need them anyway.
You just do. I'm waiting to move on. What can I say?
Yeah. Probably better off. He was kind of weird. Was kind of scared.
Honestly, it's not that useful. Seems like he was just gonna.
Yeah. Hopefully he got what he
Being
wanted and
cryptic.
it's done.
Yeah.
You know? I wish him well. Don't like him, but...
Well, if I'm gonna move on, take this guy to Ranger Conclave, I have authorities to answer to, so I'm gonna head on to them. Y'all can attack it with me if you like, but you'd be in safe company with the Hunter Conclave. They're all natural folk and in the interest of preserving wildlife, so I feel as if it'd be a good decision to bring you into the fold of the Hunter Conclave slightly.
I mean, I'll stick
that.
with you for now.
So we can at least begin to travel to some sort of, to at least alert and get some sort of whereabouts on where to go and what even to do with this is. I'm just a boy. What can I say? I'm just a boy in the world.
I'm just a girl. Find the artifacts. So...
You did find 2.
Oh. Yeah, what did we find again?
I think I wrote
You
it.
found a stone amulet and stone bracers.
I think King has them. I'm going to permanently remove myself from that role because I did it last campaign. And I don't want to do
I'll
it this
do it this time.
Thank you.
You're gonna write them down? Yeah.
Yeah. We need a bag of holding.
I'll be that.
I think, though, I know King was looking at them. I don't know if King still has them on
Let's just
like
pretend.
person.
You grab them.
They're in your pockets.
We have
yeah.
Someone has them.
I have those. Yeah. The King has them.
We have that.
Right. The bag of holding has them. We all got long rested just now, so I'm assuming if...
Oh, you
Are,
were...
are
okay.
we resting?
Yeah,
here?
yeah, we...
Yeah.
Because you don't want to carry key.
Yeah, well, that's when you disappeared. That's when
Emrys.
Emrys disappeared.
Yeah.
Was while we were sleeping. So
Yeah.
I'm just gonna wait till King wakes up and then head on to the Hunter's Conclave then.
King probably wakes up a bit like into everyone's rest because if they took time to probably take camp and stuff, and so King awakes while everyone's asleep and probably still just sits there, just conscious now.
Fable is going to... You're just sitting right now?
Yeah. So I woke up before all of you did, most likely, like timing, like an hour probably before you did. Probably by the time you're all probably properly woken up, King has visibly moved, and that's probably the only sign that King is awake.
Well, but do you have some kind of flicker behind your eyeballs or something?
Nope. Just a pumpkin. Just a pumpkin.
Oh, because you're a scarecrow.
It's just kind of black behind the eyes and the mouth.
And you won't...
The head moves.
He takes off a bit of jerky and hands it to King and... Come on, follow me.
King will get up and follow. I don't think King takes the jerky.
After like wrapping up camp, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. As you are wrapping up camp, you also realize that in the morning, Jespin is also nowhere to be seen.
Oh, they're both gone now?
Did I watch him leave?
At least, when did you wake up?
Well, so I took probably from the time I collapsed. So it's kind of a weird timing equation of like, when did they start their long rest?
Yeah.
Because I started one immediately as I left, basically.
I'm going to say you see him just duck into the courtyard. And you haven't seen him leave since. So he's still getting the keep.
Okay. I don't care. It doesn't matter. King doesn't care.
But none of the others know where Jespin is right now.
Okay.
You make your way back from the small, snowy plateau across the river. When you woke up, the darkness had mostly been dissipated, but weirdly, there was a dark streak. So, like, there was a line of darkness past where the keep was as you were moving that you could see. So there was more about the sky and the world that had changed during the night.
Perhaps, like, something got set free and made it darker.
He brings the darkness with him whenever he goes, perhaps.
Follow the street.
You don't know.
Well, but why do we don't want to follow it. We're just trying to go back. Let's go back to... That's true.
You guys did have a job.
Yeah. We did it. Let's go back to the...
Yeah.
Back to the Hunter's Conclave and get some answers. Hopefully it's...
Yeah.
The journey back takes surprisingly a little longer than you expect. You get lost more times than on your way there, which doesn't really make sense because you knew the area but still you get lost more times, and it takes probably a week and a half, even 2 weeks, just to get back to Driftglen, which is much longer than it should have. As you pass through the sister city of Wildfell, the Jarl of Driftglen, I think only King and maybe Fable would probably know the name of this guy, but you all can tell he's of some status or power. King and Fable, you would know this. Standing, as you walk through Driftglen, standing on a elevated platform, addressing some of the citizens, the Jarl of Driftglen, Bruni Alvison, a very well-dressed and diplomatic Air Genasi, is addressing his people, and you don't hear a lot of it, but you do hear the gist. The members of the herd attached to Driftglen and House Carls attached to Jarl Alvison's name, they will not make any moves without the proper authorization from King Ulfr during these times. You don't know what that means, really?
Will you say his name and his race again, the Jarl?
Bruni Alvison. Brunni.
I'll assume that I'll just be like,
His name's Bruni.
Yeah.
Alvis.
Alvisson.
or like, they're like,
And he is a Air Genasi, which is basically an air elemental person.
It's a Jinn.
Yeah. Think genies.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. He's addressing these people with, so that's what he says. He says that the herd and House Carls attached to Driftglen will not make any moves during these uncertain times. You don't know what that means, but he's using a very, not hushed, but worried tone with his words. And people are murmuring and whispering to one another. But you don't know any of the context behind
Would we be
any of it.
within 30 feet of this display?
Probably not. Okay. If you're taking the most direct route, no, probably not.
That's all.
Fable would be the only one with common knowledge of it, though maybe all of you have heard it at some point in your times on this plane.
He would.
The
Okay.
the standing army, heavy air quotes, standing army of Rudira is largely called the Herd. So, just for some context, when he says the Herd of Driftglen, that is what he's meaning, is a standing army. You know that. You can convey that information if you want. You make your way out of Driftglen. People are looking awkwardly at one another, like not worry or like aggression, just like confusion. It's that vibe in the entire city of Driftglen. Of just people have heard things, but no one actually knows anything. And you all especially don't know anything because you've been outside of civilization for 2 weeks.
do I know human beings in eyesight? Or like, or just people, not necessarily humans, but just like people. People in eyesight.
You do not recognize anyone in eyesight right
There's no like neighbor.
now. Not that you pass by. You
We're
know a
townsfolk.
few townsfolk in Driftglen. You passed through a couple times, but no one that you recognize.
Let's find.
We're on.
Is there
Driftglen is on.
Driftglen is on Rudira still. You have yet to take the ferry over to Adria. Okay.
Because they have the king here.
Yes. Okay. King Ulfr.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
So we went back to the ferry, then I have to go. Yeah.
Yes. So you hop aboard the ferry. It's a little tense. More people are actually taking the ferry. Mostly due to the fact that you arrive during midday when lots of people are taking the ferry between, lots of people work. Workers come. Yeah. Probably 2-3 hours. Yeah, there are a lot more people on the ferries than anyone else is used to. You make it across. You hop back on the docks of Wildfell, and you start making your way towards the corner of the planks just by the river where you all met up in Otis's jewelry shop. Is there anything anyone would like to do on the journey there? A lot of stuff happened in between.
Maybe we should eavesdrop on figure out the local gossip, like what's going on.
Yeah. We can go.
I'm gonna already be doing that as much as possible. So I'm
Yeah,
gonna
but
roll.
we also. The posters. Are the posters
Okay, that was
still
a
up?
14.
You're looking around. The first time you went through Driftglen and Wildfell, it's been 3 weeks of travel. The first time you went through both of those cities, there was a fair number of them, especially because the rumor was that this woman on the posters was moving north from the east, which would have been Wildfell. Virtually all of the posters have been taken down. You pass a couple alleys where there's one on the ground, wet and muddied, and you can't tell what's on it, but you recognize the price, basically, is the only thing you can tell. But virtually all of the wanted posters are gone.
Kind of just irrelevant.
Yeah.
What was the price?
Probably around 5,000.
Turning her in.
Yeah, 5,000-ish gold.
So yeah,
It's pretty good.
or the real 5,000 gold for the friends we made along the way.
Counter argument, 5,000 gold.
I try to kick out.
Would you rather have?
I don't think on this entire journey King has said a word unless prompted.
Okay.
Finally.
That's probably the same for Fable, but it's much less noticeable. With King, it's like, yeah, it's like it's happening. Yeah, King.
I saw a butterfly and didn't ask.
Yeah, you didn't say anything. Fable, it's like, oh, Fable, you stoic man, you. But then with King, it's like, what is happening?
Okay.
Fable's looking over, just like feeling bad for the man. He's like, man, it's just this little guy. He just got traumatized. This is just a little guy.
Your dad came home after 20 years.
Would he take some of his pipe weed?
If offered.
Fable will offer silently a few times. Just like he'll like eyebrow raise and like sneakily.
Right in the pumpkin's mouth.
Yeah.
Sometimes there's a smoke ring that comes out. Sometimes
Yeah.
Okay.
Like a silent morning. We're on the same page.
No.
Bramble is like asking around, talking to people, trying to hear what's going on because everybody's acting weird.
Okay.
Peaches is following Bramble.
Yeah. I'll have the group make either perception or insight check.
Perception. Wait, what's your perception? It's better than my insight. What's your plus?
It's about 5, but I just keep rolling 9, so I get 14. 2 times in a row.
Perception.
I feel like King will silently take part.
Okay.
Oh, are we?
No, he will not.
Well, like it'll try.
Oh,
It's too buzz.
Yeah. It rolled a 2 though. So
unnatural 20.
Ooh.
Actually, wait. A natural 23. Yeah.
Dirty 23.
Yeah.
Dang. 23.
As opposed to a natural 22.
I know.
I may not have my own
Grasses are not
memories, but I
rolling.
can perceive everyone.
Okay. Did everyone else roll lower than a 15?
I rolled a 15.
5 total.
Great.
Oh,
Love that.
How about you, Fable?
To roll a 14.
No. Okay.
It was so sad.
Yeah, that is sad.
I'll blame it on the pipe weed.
Me too. Yeah, you were really high passing through Driftglen.
Yeah.
Bramble and Peaches, you two are probably the most, like, King is curious, but in a more confused way of just, like, everything is curious to King. You two are curious because, Bramble, you've never really left Hadley, and Peaches, you don't remember anything.
But also Peaches thinks it's a dragon.
That's true.
yeah.
Not about the dragon.
Peaches is waiting to say I told you so.
So, Bramble, you hear some stuff, but you can't decipher really any of the conversation. You only hear the names of the 3 other major cities on Adrios. You hear Vornheim, you hear Dryochten, and you hear Hadley in conversations. You also hear the word dragon.
Oh.
There are some... Yes.
See?
You hear some rumors, but with a 15, you can't piece together any of it. With a 23, you hear quite a bit, Peaches. You hear several rumors as you're passing through a group of lumber workers. They're discussing changes to, like, what's going to happen to Vornheim's leadership now that so-and-so, blah, 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 and it fades out as you pass them. And then you also hear, how is the council going to react to Dryochten and all this stuff as you pass by what looks to be some sort of apprentice and a mage, arcane-looking individuals, and they're talking about how the council, the Circle of Nine, is going to react to Dryokten's actions, but you hear nothing more than that. And the thing that you're probably very keen on, in reference to the city of Hadley, the very large swath of farmland that Bramble is from, and where you woke up, there are rumors that on the far west edges of the Tangles, which is the very outskirts of Hadley, and the opposite end of where Bramble's farm was, there were rumors that a dragon had attacked and frozen over several farms. But none of them had been confirmed by the local military yet. So With a 23, you get a lot, but you don't get any definitive answers.
Remind me, DM.
Yes?
We discussed an evil dragon last time, Miss Volcano. What kind of dragon was it?
Vorkane was a ancient silver dragon.
So silver and ice.
Yes.
Yeah.
And silver is
probably.
And we're in Wildfell at this
You
point.
guys are in Wildfell. Yes. You pass through, you hear all of that on your way to Otis's shop.
Okay.
It's a lot of exposition from me. I'm sorry.
Peaches would. Okay. Talking to Bramble.
Hadley, the dragon was real. Hadley got frozen.
Okay, but like, was it like a snowstorm? Like, it could have been anything.
It was a dragon. The dragon.
It's possible.
Real.
Dragons are in a.
It is late fall.
It's kind of chilly out.
So in Hadley, the harvest season ended already.
Yeah, listen, I've seen farms freeze over in like one night. It's not that unusual.
Bramble.
Yeah, but they said it was a dragon.
Respectfully, I don't think you know what the hell you're talking about.
I cast minor illusions, and I'm just like, I'm holding a floating image of a silver dragon, but it's like tiny. It's just kind of like there, and then spinning it around.
Now, it's good to be skeptical, for sure. I appreciate that.
You pull out like a little like yardstick and point to the dragon.
No, I do crack out a cigarette.
Now, is it? Dragons are very volatile creatures.
Yeah, but see, like dragons never do that. They don't come out. They don't.
Well, see, they don't usually do that, but that's not to say they've never done that. Dragons, for certainly.
Why would it be Hadley of all places? Like,
Because
Well,
we saw it flying.
It's
that
better.
day.
It's better that we deal with the consequences of these actions rather than the significant details. You know what I'm saying? So let's maybe focus on saving these people's lives from a goddamn dragon rather than the semantics on where does it come from, what's his name, what's his birthplace, what's his birthright. There's a lot of people in this town, and they might die because of it. So let's maybe focus on that back rather than skepticizing its existence.
So you are jumping to we're gonna kill the dragon.
I'm saying let's get to the,
Possibly doesn't even exist.
let's get to the bottom of it before we make brash decisions.
We're making any decisions, but then suddenly we're gonna
I'm
kill
saying
the dragon.
let's before you skepticize. Let's take this information because this person is a person that has had some sort of amnesiatic disease. So either they're so insane that she's insane. She specifically. This is not a hypothetical person. This either she is drugged out of her mind. Something's going crazy. And that's a problem we need to solve. Or there's a dragon, and we need to solve that problem. You know what I'm saying?
I believe that she believes there's a dragon, which is good.
All right, we at least got to there. So let's move on. let's at least.
As you reach a wonderful end to a slightly heated discussion, you all hear a voice to your side. You didn't even realize where you were at first. Fable was just leading you in the direction of Otis's shop, but you hear a voice. Hey, weird ones. Maybe don't talk about dragons out in the open. People think you're crazy or something. Come on. And Otis waves you.
For what it's worth, other locals were talking about it first.
Oh, believe me.
I did.
I understand.
It's not her fault.
I would like to. Peaches didn't say that she heard locals saying that. She just said
Never mind.
the dragon
I didn't say
throws Hadley. Yeah.
She's clairvoyant too.
Yeah.
Clairvoyant.
Otis waves you into his shop. The four of you enter. The shop seems quiet. There's no movement in the back room. You don't see anyone else, any other members of the Accord in here, just Otis. And he seems to have just closed up for the day. How did it go?
What is going on outside to cause such a storm?
I'll get to that in a minute.
Maybe we should tell him about the guy that we let free.
I'll let you two explain that one.
You ran into a guy out there?
Okay, we went to the place.
Really ran, he said.
Right.
Sure.
We went there.
You were like, we lunged. We didn't jump. we didn't run. We sprinted.
We walked. We went there. It's not in good shape. A bunch of dead people There was this guy locked up in the basement.
Dead people? What? It was supposed to be abandoned.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that part. It was like an army. From what I could figure, it was the soldiers of the Veiled Steppe. They all went there.
I'm going to have to talk to Jorn about this. He has an inn in Lundir. He should have known about that.
Probably.
Movement.
Because it was pretty...
It didn't really matter. They were all dead. And
They are dead now. Basically all of them.
How many of them?
I would say 50? Probably like 150. It was a lot.
It was probably about 100.
I wasn't counting. Anyway. So we went there.
Do you realize how hard it is to kill one Veiled Steppe?
Well, we didn't do it. Yeah, I imagine it was hard, but it makes sense because we ran into these people.
Do you know what killed? Sorry, I'm still stuck on the dead bodies.
Hey, I'm doing this.
Okay.
we went there. There's these people in the basement. We found this guy. This guy's chained up. He's
Sure.
Alistair. Have you heard of that guy?
Rolf. He's a vampire.
No, I don't think he's scary.
Anyways, we set him
Alistair.
free,
The
but it
name
wasn't our
sounds
fault.
vaguely familiar.
Bestie's chained up. There were two other people chained up. I think they're the ones that killed everybody. They seemed pretty hardcore, pretty scary.
Did you see the other two that were chained up?
No,
How did
we
you
only
not?
saw the vampire.
They're gone.
Vampire.
Yeah.
Did you? Was there anyone else living?
It's a fairy vampire.
Yes, King.
No, this is me for DM.
Oh, yes.
This is me to DM. This is the one time King's gonna do this.
Okay.
With all the knowledge King has heard, they've been avoiding doing this, but they're gonna do a big thing.
Okay.
Can they dig into like the recesses of their minds and figure out minds? That wasn't supposed to be plural. They can figure anything out about this fairy vampire.
Either roll self-insight or history.
History.
Okay. You can vibe check yourself, but history would probably work just as well.
Great. 14.
14. I'm going to say, so you're trying to decipher.
I'm basically trying to reach into a blocked part of my consciousness.
The voice of Alistair Rolfe was very familiar, but at the same time, you don't think you had ever actually heard it before. To put it simply, his vibes, his essence, like his being, was super familiar to you, but the personage of Alistair Rolfe, like this person, was completely foreign to you. You had never heard of the name, you had never seen this person before.
But the idea of them is familiar.
The idea of them is familiar, yes.
As Bramble is very eloquently explaining, King is just kind of in the back, not necessarily attempting to be heard, is just...
Doesn't matter who it is, it's already too late.
Yeah.
All right.
We let them free.
Let me get this straight. So you traveled to this keep that was supposed to be abandoned. It wasn't abandoned. Sorry, did they get there recently? Had it been recently
It looked
occupied?
like they were actively...
They'd been dead a few hours.
Just a few hours.
Yeah. That was kind of weird. It was cold. Yeah.
Great. Lovely. Did you get anything from the place?
And Peaches, seemingly out of nowhere, she doesn't have a bag.
Peaches
Produces.
stole from King just now.
No, it was somewhere along the way.
Oh, okay.
The stone bracers and the stone amulet.
Great. Otis's eyes immediately light up, both figuratively and literally. Like a slight glaze of arcane magic washes over them just for a split second.
Those are valuable. Not particularly powerful, but valuable nonetheless.
So
She just puts them back where she got them.
yeah.
You're hired to get them. Yes, I understand. We were expecting not whatever you ran into. We were anticipating you to run into a keep full of potentially magical artifacts. Or not. They don't even have to be magical, just historically significant enough to fetch a fair price.
You were looking for rocks. And you were looking for pebbles and treasures, is what you're telling me.
Yes. Those two will do.
There's a bunch of...
Yoren's going to be mad at me.
There's a bunch of soldiers dead, like elite soldiers dead, and
I
feel as if we should refocus from Bobble.
I understand. One moment, old friend. I'll take one of those items off your hands and pay you the full amount, because that information is surprisingly useful. All of that information is surprisingly useful. I'll let you decide which one.
What do they do?
I'm not particularly sure. I just got a vague idea.
We'll figure it out later. If this is more valuable to you than it is to us, I'll take the gold value, honestly. But
No, I mean, we got them for the...
That necklace would be very useful for me. I would pay you the full amount that we promised.
what does the necklace do? For just the necklace, you pay the full amount?
Yes. The bracers I have no purpose for. I'm not going to be getting into any scuffles anytime soon. And since...
I understand it's probably non-combative, it's probably more just trick.
Yes. That one particularly shields from divination, the necklace. I would very much like that. How...
What do the bracers do?
They're protective in some way, abjurative of deadly force. I'm sure if you put them on and attached yourself to their essence, they would somehow enhance your defensive capabilities. I'm not sure. I don't. I've seen ones like that before.
If you...
Tabletop.
Bracers of defense.
Amulet of
purification protection.
King wants that amulet, so...
King wants the amulet, but we could get Mern.
Is
King gonna say anything?
Said that,
Yeah.
but King, ever since he said it protects against divination, King's like base is like locked on.
If you want to keep both, I won't pay you, but they are magic items that could aid you.
Wait, you wouldn't pay us at all for even going over there and doing...
Oh, I'd still pay you the base amount. I'm just saying I wouldn't pay you for the artifact.
Let's make one with them. Let's just give them both to him.
Well, full on.
As you say that, King like lifts the amulet slowly out of your fingers.
He just grabs it harder.
You didn't want that.
I want the money.
Okay, we'll give you the bracers.
Above table, just so like the players can decide better. I don't think we ever explicitly said the base pay for going and exploring would be 1,000 gold pieces for the four of you. For each significant item, the price would vary.
Did we find anything else?
No, it's
No, those were the only two. And you rolled.
significant things.
Those were the only
we
significant.
should have robbed the bodies.
Yeah.
What about the chain? We keep. We're not.
I'm gonna say you didn't keep the chain.
Let's go. What a body.
But for the sake of your decision, Otis says that if you were to give him the amulet, he would pay you probably another 1,000 on top of that. And if you were to give him both the amulet and bracers, probably another 500, 600, 700.
How about 500 for the bracers?
Is that a done deal?
Well, the amulet, too.
Well, we keep the amulet. 500 for the bracers.
King is still trying to get it out of pieces.
We are net 150 gold. Oh, sorry, 1,500 gold pieces. Net positive. Plus, trinket. We're keeping the King wants the amulet. It seems also as if, given the nature of this foe we've unveiled,
Okay, sure.
we should probably have that thing on us. I'm gonna keep it real as a human being to another human being. Let's keep the amulet. We're giving up the braces of defense. Great.
I don't think the bracelet defense is useful for any of us.
I think all of us wear armor. Maybe you,
Yeah, but King
but I'll spark skin you and it'll be fine.
Yeah.
So eventually, one day.
So Otis pays up. He's going to pay 1,600 for the lock because
400.
the added information. He designated that as 100 gold worth of information that you just gave him, and the accord.
I'll be the penny pincher as that sounds. I'll do money.
You'll do money.
Accountants.
Right.
Well, I'm keeping track of my money.
Yeah, but just like party.
Yeah.
Well, actually,
Well, I'm assuming we all just split
let's just
that.
split it. Yeah, let's just split it. What was the total again then?
1,600, which would be 400 each.
Yeah,
I tried to do that. So
Yeah,
it'd be nice.
I figured that's why you did that.
Yeah.
my brain is scatterbrained.
It's all right.
So sorry.
And you wanted to do the accounting.
That is no, you're right. That's my bad. Exclusively.
This guy being an accountant.
Yeah. Whoops.
Okay. I'm gonna
Can I get that
in platinum portfolios?
Sure, if you want to put it in platinum, go for it. To run through what Otis is going to tell you, because otherwise it would just be me expositioning again, but in character. Otis gives you what he understands to be what's going on the continent, pretty much. He says that Adrios is kind of in chaos right now. Lundir, the capital, doesn't really know where to throw its resources because Bornheim, 2 of its dwarven forge barons, which are sort of the leadership of the city, there's a council of barons. 2 of those forge barons were assassinated by shadowy figures.
It was you.
It was
me.
Dryocton are being sort of basically the High Magister of Dryocton and the Guild of Arcana are under investigation for treason for certain aggressive actions taken against certain groups of people. But it's all rumors. Supposedly some circle couriers, like couriers for the council themselves, were captured and killed by the guild, but those are like the worst of the rumors. And then the rumor that you heard before Hadley, there are rumors of dragon attacks. So people are saying that there should be more military sent a little southwest of Lundir to Hadley to potentially defend against whatever that might be. You hear nothing of Artis, though there are some rumors that there's unease with certain sailors and pirates, but that right now is the least of the concern for the rest of the country. That's the gist of all the chaos that's happening, but there is a lot more details that Otis doesn't know. And the rest of the Accord had promised Peaches that upon their return, they would have information if Yoren did some digging. Otis says that Yoren's still in the capital doing some bookworking and research for specific endeavors, including your own Peaches. That's the table you have out in front of you, I suppose. You have some choices on where to go to look for certain clues for each of the members of this party. Depending on where you want to go, there will be changes to plans, and the world will continue moving. So, yeah. Otis sort of lets you off on that. He looks quite exhausted, like he's done several all-nighters in a row, trying to write missives to other Accord members and get supplies in on time because of all this chaos that's happening right now. What does our party do?
Peaches was like, number 1, I told you there was a dragon. Number 2, how long will Yoren be in the capital?
From last he told me, he was planning on being in the capital for 4 weeks, though he would try to get back in 3. Clearly, that wasn't the case. He was working with his men inside the council for some of the things he was researching. He's good with books, but he's certainly slow. The others are down south by Dryocton investigating, doing their own work outside of the council investigation. The Accord has lots of ties in the City of Mages, so if there were to be some sort of civil conflict between the council and Dryocton, there would be many problems. They were also trying to figure out all of that cult business that might be connected to you in some way, so.
Party, you've done your work. You're let off the hook from the Accord. You have several leads for all of you, actually. So, the world is yours, pretty much, at this point. We'll make some decisions next time.
Sounds good.
Great.
Yeah, let's do that.
That is where we'll end the episode. See y'all next time.